Today, we tell the heartbreaking and powerful story of Nesethu Rauzela, a young woman whose light was dimmed far too soon. This is not just her story, but a painful reminder of the realities many women face and the urgent need for justice, safety, and real change. Nesethu Rauzela was a 25-year-old nurse from the quiet town of Qumbu in the Eastern Cape, South Africa. Full of life, full of dreams. She had just completed her studies and was preparing to begin her journey as a healthcare professional. For her, nursing wasn't just a career, it was a calling. She was passionate about helping others, healing the sick, and giving back to her community. She was a symbol of hope not just to her family, but to all those who knew her. Her smile, bright, her spirit, even brighter. But little did anyone know that just days after returning home to celebrate the start of her future, her life would take a dark and unexpected turn. In early March 2025, Nesethu went back to her family home in Qumbu. Spirits were high. There was joy, laughter, and excitement about her new chapter. But all of that came crashing down around March 8th when she was allegedly harmed in a brutal altercation involving her boyfriend, a man by the name of Nesethu, who, like her, worked as a nurse. Now, the details of what happened that day are still coming out. But what we know is this. Following the incident, Nesethu was rushed to a nearby hospital. The injuries she had sustained were severe. Despite the best efforts of doctors and medical staff, she tragically did not survive. Her passing shook not only her family, but the entire community of Qumbu. It was sudden, it was violent, and it was devastating. Soon after, Nesethu was taken into custody and charged in connection with her passing. During his first court appearance at the Tsolo Magistrates Court, Nesethu applied for bail. He stated that he was the sole breadwinner for his household and that he had 2 children relying on him. He even mentioned that he had offered Nesethu's family 15,000 rand to assist with her funeral arrangements. But the court wasn't convinced. Bail was denied, and the next hearing was set for April 17th, 2025. The justice system, at least in this early stage, appeared to be taking the matter seriously, and that's exactly what Nesethu's grieving family has been calling for. Accountability. Her loved ones are still in shock, trying to make sense of the unthinkable. For them, this wasn't just another case. This was their daughter, their sister, their friend. A woman who had done everything right. A woman who was kind, compassionate, and ready to serve. And yet she became a victim of a tragic act she did not deserve. Community outrage grew quickly. The United Democratic Movement, or UDM, based in the Eastern Cape, released a statement expressing deep sorrow and condemnation. They didn't just speak about Nesethu. They pointed to a disturbing trend. Just a few weeks before, in another part of Qumbu, a 24-year-old woman had lost her life, allegedly at the hands of her husband. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a much bigger, much more painful reality. The ongoing crisis of gender-based violence in South Africa. What's particularly shocking in Nesethu's case is that both she and her alleged attacker were health workers. People trained to care, to protect, and to help. That contrast is chilling. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time such tragedy has struck the healthcare community in the Eastern Cape. In late 2022, a nurse working at Hospitalization Hospital was fatally injured while on duty by 2 armed individuals. Her life, like Nesethu's, was taken far too soon, and while she was simply doing her job. These stories paint a grim picture, but they also serve as powerful reminders. They remind us that no matter where someone works, no matter how educated they are, or how successful, no one is immune to the dangers of abuse and violence. In the days after Nesethu's passing, her family demanded transparency. They wanted to know what really happened. They wanted to know why. And most importantly, they wanted justice. Not just for Nesethu, but for every woman who has suffered in silence. Every victim whose story didn't make headlines. The UDM, alongside various community organizations, pledged to stand by them. They vowed to push for stronger policies, safer communities, and better support for survivors. Their message was clear: enough is enough. But what can we do? As listeners, viewers, and human beings, how do we respond to a story like Nesethu's? First, we remember her name, Nesethu Rauzela. She was more than a headline, more than a case number. She was a daughter, a dreamer, a healer. Her life mattered. Second, we talk about it. As uncomfortable as these conversations are, silence helps no one. Talking about gender-based violence doesn't create it. Ignoring it does. Third, we support change. That could mean donating to shelters, supporting advocacy groups, voting for leaders who take this issue seriously, or simply looking out for one another. Because the truth is, behind every statistic, there's a real person with a real story, just like Nesethu. To her family, we send love, strength, and solidarity. No one should have to bury their daughter under such circumstances. No one should have to cry out for justice just to be heard. To those still suffering quietly in similar situations, your life matters, your safety matters, and help is out there. To those in positions of power, this is the time to act. Not tomorrow, not when another life is lost, but now. And to Nesethu, may your light continue to shine, not just in the memories of those who loved you, but in the actions we take, the laws we change, and the voices we raise in your name. Rest peacefully, sister. Your story will not be forgotten.